Hello Year 4 and welcome to the first of this week's science videos. This one's about exciting electricity. Now the WALT for this is to explain the ways that electricity is generated. So hopefully by the end of the session you'll be able to explain what you know about electricity and you'll be able to explain where electricity comes from. So, what makes it work? Have a look at these pictures. What do they have in common and how do they all work? I hope that you realise that everything on that previous slide were powered by electricity. It's electricity that makes them work. But what do you actually know about electricity? I'd like you to create a mind map to show what you know. And think of any questions you'd like to ask about electricity. Think about where does it come from? How do switches work? What materials allow electricity to flow through them? And some of the things that use electricity to work. Now you can download the mind map. It's on the website, which give you some pointers, or you can just create your own on a piece of paper. So just pause the video while you do that. And remember, if you have questions about electricity, if you post them on the Padlet, then we can talk about them in the next Zoom session. Or alternatively, I can do some sort of presentation to answer them. So pause the video now and create your mind map. When you're ready, press the play button. Okay, so what is electricity? The definition of electricity is it's electric current, which is the flow of an electric charge. Now, some electricity occurs naturally. We've all seen lightning. That's a form of electricity. We've seen static electricity. You may have done that party trick with a balloon where you make your hair stand on end. That's assuming you've got some, of course. Or sometimes when you take off a jumper at night, it might crackle and you see little sparks. That's static electricity. And then there's bioelectricity, which is produced in living things, such as electric eels. But what exactly is it? Electricity powers many of the things we use every day. And in fact, I couldn't do this recording, you couldn't watch it without electricity. So televisions, phones, computers, lights, microwaves. There's obviously the natural electricity, but it's also in your body. So when you lift your arm up, it's electricity travelling down your nerves that makes the muscles in your arm move. Now, over time, scientists have worked out how to use electricity to make things work. They also discovered ways to generate or make electricity. And this meant that electricity was more readily available and things could be powered more easily. That type of electricity is known as current electricity. And current electricity is a flow of electrical charge through a material. Often it will flow through wires which take it from a power source to an appliance. So there's two types of electrical current we use. There's mains electricity, which is an alternating current, sometimes just shown as AC. And then there's batteries which generate a direct current called DC. Now, an energy source is a way of powering something, and electricity is a secondary energy source, which means it has to be made from a primary source of energy. And some of those primary sources of energy include coal, oil, natural gas, wind power, and solar power. Now, since electricity is a secondary source of energy, it needs to be generated or made from the primary source. One way of doing that is fossil fuels. Coal, oil, natural gas. They're all fossil fuels, and when they're burnt, they produce heat, and that heat can then be used to produce electricity. Nuclear energy That's what comes out when an atom is either combined or split, and again it creates heat, and that heat is converted into electricity. Hydro and wind power. Water is used in dams, that's the hydro part, and wind is used to turn windmills. And they can both be used to generate electricity. Solar power. I expect some of you have driven past those fields with all those solar panels in and seen houses with solar panels on their roof. And what those panels do is they convert the energy from the sun into electricity. And finally, there's geothermal energy, and that uses heat from the earth, which again is converted into electricity. Now, can you match the picture with the label? Pause the video while you have a think. You can either print this off from the school website, or again, just do a sketch of your own drawing and label them. When you're ready, continue the video and we'll look at the answers. Did you get them all right? So, we now know there are several ways of generating electricity for us to use to power our appliances. Now, some of those methods are called renewable, and that means they'll never run out, so we can keep using them to generate electricity. But some of the methods are non-renewable, and as you've probably worked out, that means at some point those methods, the fuel they use is going to run out, and when we do, we can't use them to generate electricity. Coal, oil and natural gas will all run out one day, and when we do, they won't be able to be used to generate electricity. The reason we've used them is because they are a lot cheaper than non-renewable sources for generating electricity, and that's why most of our electricity is generated from fossil fuels. But the UK government have committed themselves to ending the use of coal to generate electricity by 2025. So, electricity we now know is a flow of charge through a material which then powers appliances. But I'd like you to think about, what would life be like without electricity? Have a look around you. Think about the ways things would be different. What would school be like if we didn't have electricity? What would your home be like? How would you entertain yourself? How would we stay in touch with people if we couldn't Zoom them, or send them emails, or ring them on our mobile phones? And remember, even a landline phone, old-fashioned as it is, needs electricity to work. So how would people stay in touch? So that's it. Hopefully now you can explain about electricity and where it comes from, how it's made. So next you need to watch the video on electrical appliances. Then that will complete the science for this week.